really well. It's your main man Anil coming live for Immunity for the Community once again. How's everybody doing? How are you all feeling on this amazing summer weekend? It was absolutely beautiful out there yesterday when I went to town, and it was absolutely beautiful just now when I went to do my shopping. I gotta say, everybody, I'm feeling really good after my holiday in Barcelona. I'm feeling really refreshed, recharged, and ready to serve you, ladies and gentlemen, at the highest level. How are you all doing? Drop a comment below if you're happy to see the big man back, if you're happy to see your homeboy, the main man, the inner Rocky, Enil, back in the fold, back in the flesh, back here to help serve all you amazing people. I do this to serve my clients at the highest level, and today's podcast is going to be absolutely amazing. This podcast episode is going to be called How You Can Change Your Relationship with Food and Let Go of the Guilt. Yes, how you can do that. And why am I doing this today? Why specifically have I been inspired to make the podcast about this topic? Well, I'll tell you why. I've just gone on my first holiday out of the country for 9 years, and I got to say it felt absolutely amazing. And I'm very self-aware, as you know, ladies and gentlemen. I look inside myself. I think to myself, how can I serve my clients today? What are they struggling with? What have they dealt with? What problems have they had? What past pains or what current pains are there that I can help solve for my clients so they don't have to go through this again? And this is one of the things. We work very hard week in, week out, at work, showing up the best self, and then going on the weekend, you have your weekend, you have your treats, and then sometimes you feel a bit guilty afterwards. And a lot of the time, people can feel guilty even after a holiday. And this is something that I struggled with. I struggled with this a lot. I was obsessively a gym goer to the point where I wouldn't even allow myself even a treat if I was going on holiday. And I got to say, this is a big topic for me, because I think can help you, and I can put into place some really good tools that will help you to overcome and let go of that guilt that you have about having an occasional treat. So this is part of the Write Your New Story course. The Write Your Own Story course is part of Immunity for the Community. My new website is launched, iforcommunity.com. I'll drop it in the comments, iforcommunity.com. If you sign up now, you can get 5% off the Write Your Own Story course, and this is one of many episodes which you will have watched to help you to write your new story. And I can offer you a free one-to-one consultation. But first of all, I'm going to add value to all you amazing people, and I'm going to talk from experience and help you to overcome this with some amazing tools. So let's dive right in. How can we change our relationship with food? Well, what we have to do is we have to let go of the shame that is associated to our relationship with food. A lot of the time, we're not necessarily overweight because we've ate wrong. We're overweight because we're hanging on to the shame. And what happens is, over time, is that if you made enough mistakes, if you went down enough relapses and rabbit holes where you ate the wrong thing and you didn't show up, and this compounded and it had a snowball effect, this can really affect your confidence, and this can make you now associate shame to bad food. And this is something that I really struggled with post weight loss. Now, when I lost 140 pounds, what I had to do was I had to eat right 7 days a week to make my body do that, so that I could let go of the weight, because my body was so used to hanging on to the weight from being overweight for 10 years, and I carried a lot of that shame. And even after I lost the weight, I could not bring myself to even have a pack of Doritos. I could not bring myself to have even the slightest treat, a can of Coke, because I remembered every time I went down a rabbit hole. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you with a guided meditation that's really going to help you to understand that one mistake is not every mistake, that one slip up is not every slip up, and that every addiction can be broken at a deeper level by changing the wiring and the associations to what you associate with it and what the meaning of it is. So let's dive right in. Let's do a guided meditation. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Now I want you to think about your relationship with food. What is it like right now? Are you aware of the food groups that you're eating? If you're not, that doesn't matter. What I want you to do is I want you to make a mental note. Imagine a list in your mind of what you eat on a daily basis. And once you have written that list, I want you to fully speak it out. What do you eat on a daily basis? Breakfast, lunch, middle of the afternoon, dinner. What drinks are you having through the day? I want you to just list it out and speak from your mind what your daily habit is. And here and now I'm going to list what I eat daily. Breakfast. I have green celery juice in a 500ml mug. I have lemon water with warm water to start my day. I have 1 ounce of porridge mixed in with my vegan protein, half a scoop. And I have walnuts, chia seeds, blanched almonds, and pomegranate seeds. And I have that with a decaf cup of tea to start the day. Then I go to 9 o'clock when I've arrived at work and I have my first cup of tea of the day, usually an Earl Grey, sometimes a nice English breakfast tea with milk and sugar. Then I go to 10 a.m. and I have my banana, and then I have 500ml of water, followed by another hot drink, maybe a coffee or a tea at about 10:30 to 11. Then I go to lunch and have a healthy, wholesome 1 ounce of pasta that's been cooked and doubled up with a torca or saute of mixed vegetables, turmeric, chopped tomatoes, all mixed in with a vegan protein from No Meat Company, followed by a lovely chopped up salad of fresh tomatoes, rocket salad, or romaine lettuce, cucumbers and mint leaves, all with olive oil dashed over the top. And I drink another 500ml of water. And then I fast forward to 3 o'clock. By this time I will have drunk another 500ml of water about 2 o'clock, but at 3 I have an apple and 100 grams of blueberries. Then I go to 5 o'clock. And at this point I have my main meal. It could be after work, it could be at work, just before I go to the gym, and it is 3 vegan protein no meat strips or vegan minced protein, and then rice or potato wedges accompanied by broccoli and carrots, and I have that with another 500ml of water or a glass of juice. Cordial juice is fine. I'll go to the gym, I'll come back, and at about 6:30 I'll start preparing my food for the next day. The same lunch that I had. Now I want you to compare what you've just said as your daily habits of what you eat, what you consume on a daily basis, and what I consume and eat on a daily basis. Now for a moment, don't judge yourself. Just compare and just recognize that because I eat, because Immunity for the Community's coach eats these things on a daily basis, consumes this is why he's healthy and strong. And you can get there also by making those 2mm shifts, as Tony Robbins would say. Now look at your breakfast and look at Emil's breakfast. What is the difference? Are you starting the day on pancakes? Are you starting the day on omelettes? Or are you starting the day on porridge? You make that choice. You make that decision. You have a look. And be self-aware. Do not be self-critical. We're trying to take you away from being self-critical. Now that you've compared every meal, compare every single meal and recognize. And you can replay this meditation, you can replay this episode to find out what I'm doing. But you'll get the full coaching on the Write Your Own Story course. And recognize that this is a pattern. This is a pattern of behavior. And eating what you want every single day does not always lead to success. Eating a treat every day will lead to unhappiness and being overweight and feeling that you've missed out and you've not hit your goals and being hard on yourself. However, if you now treat yourself once every 2 weeks with a treat, that's okay. Now let's take a dive into the addictions. I want you to think about one food group in particular, one dish that you are particularly always having a craving for. Could be pizza, could be cookies. I want you to think about that. How does it make you feel when you realize you've gone down a rabbit hole? You've ate a whole packet of Oreos and you don't know why. You've smashed through all this pizza, you don't know why, and the guilt has set in. Well, here's what we're going to do. I want you to imagine a fork in the road. I want you to imagine on the left the current pattern that you are in. and on the right, the new